Alright guys, so as I promised on Instagram, I'm going to answer to some of your questions. I don't know what happened to my Instagram following, but lately I've been receiving a lot of good questions about trading. So I encourage you to follow me there, and whenever I post this Q&A thing, to ask right away whatever comes in your mind and you feel like I can help you in any way. Okay, so I'm gonna pick the first question, which is, what is the importance of money to you and where does it rank in your list of priorities? It really depends where you're at, in what stage in life you're at. For example, for me, in the past, money were on the first place. So basically, I would give up on a lot of my needs. Like, I would forget to eat, I would forget to go to the gym, I would not buy things, I would just save money just because I was in a lack, right? So making money was the number one thing for me back then. Well, right now, I consider that money are still important, like very, very important, but I have a lot of savings. I can live off savings for a really long time. I'm still consistent with my work, with my trades. However, I'm not that desperate as I was, which means that I can balance my life out. And instead of simply focusing on hustling and locking in, because this is what I did for a really long time, for 2 years straight, I locked in hard. Right now, I can take a lot of breaks. I have a lot of free time. I take care of my health a lot. I take care of my body, my mind. I relax a lot. For example, today, and not only today, for a really long period of time, I've observed the fact that I have a lot of freedom. When I go to drink a coffee and have my breakfast on a daily basis outside, I observe that people are rushing to work, that people have stuff to do. Meanwhile, I'm here and I have complete freedom to choose where to eat, what to eat, where to spend my time, with who to spend my time, in which country I want. Literally so relaxed, but that doesn't mean that this relaxation doesn't help me in any way. I remember the fact that for 2 years straight, I was locked in and stressed a lot. So now my body is recovering from all that stress that I went through when I was struggling with being profitable, when I was struggling with not having saved funds. So I would say that money clearly makes a difference in your life, in my life especially, because it makes me feel secure. And obviously, when you're having money, you're having freedom. You can take care of your health. You can do a lot of hobbies. You can spend time however you want. You won't feel like missing out again. The worst part in all this equation, in all this situation, is the fact that a lot of people that you're surrounded with do not go through the same thing. So a lot of times you will have to be alone. Because of course, in a normal day-to-day life, people have work, people have a 9 to 5, not even a 9 to 5. Maybe there are people that make a lot of money, but they don't have time, right? They are tied to their business, they are tied to their occupation. Well, when it comes to trading, you're not tied to anything. You're literally free. So I guess that being free is my number one priority. Then comes health right now. And after that, money, making more money. Yeah, I guess that's it. Okay, second question comes from Andreea, and he asks if I have any advice to all traders that want to trade full-time rather than going to their 9 to 5 job every day. I think you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I am not a huge fan of giving up on your 9 to 5 or giving up on multiple sources of income. I feel like trading starts to become extremely stressful the moment in which you give up on all your other sources of income. Of course, I do not agree with a 9 to 5 because it's boring, it takes a lot of your time, you want to live your life, you don't want to work for somebody else. But instead of going to a 9 to 5, try to replace your main job with something else. Find a skill, be good at it, and become a freelancer. Start a business. Do something, but make sure that besides trading, you have something else. Treat trading more like investing, even though it's not investing, it's actively being on the charts. But trading is not a full-time job for most of us, the retail traders. Let's be realistic. If you want to take care of yourself, of your mind, or of your psychology, you might as well find other sources of income like I do. For example, I'm doing YouTube, I'm having FXA community, which is monetized, and this thing gives me peace of mind. It doesn't mean that I'm doing a lot more out of the community itself, but again, I know that I'm not solely trading, and that thought alone is extremely relieving for me. Because imagine if you have like bad months, even more over and over again, you would feel depressed, you would feel panicked, because you're gonna think that you might as well start looking for a job in the next month if you do not become profitable again. Do you want to live this stressful life, or do you want to be more relaxed when trading? Treat trading like a side hustle, but in a way in which it's your main source of income, if it makes sense. I'm literally so hungry right now, so I'm gonna eat this omelette. I'm gonna avoid the bread, of course, but I'm gonna have a sandwich with sourdough and sauerkraut and I guess some braised beef. The next question is from Ionuț, and he's asking about the premium group. I used to charge for premium before, and that wasn't my cup of tea, so I was actively searching for ways in which I can keep the community free of charge, which I'm doing right now, and I've been doing this for more than 1 year. So yeah, as long as you're ambitious, as long as you're active as a trader, as long as you trade on a live account, you can enter the group for free and stay inside the group as long as you're being active. And being active doesn't mean to trade every day, but at least to have activity during the whole month. Once you join the premium group, you have access to a lot of benefits. You will have access to a group in which you receive daily signals on gold from us. Those are scalps, and usually those are between 5 to 10 scalps a day. I will show some results, some daily results from the group. By the way, if you're curious about our results, we are completely transparent, so we post them every day inside our worldwide group. So if you're curious about our trades in that specific day, stay rested because we always post the results. Besides that, we do not want to encourage you to only take signals because that's not called trading. So you will have access to 3 courses: a beginner course, an intermediate course, and also an advanced mentorship with over 30 plus materials. And that's not all, because again, this is not enough for you to perform well in trading. You will have access to our support, meaning that when we see ambitious traders, we take one-to-one calls with them. Of course, again, free of charge. As long as you're trading in that specific month, you can have access to those benefits. So if you're curious about that and you want to leave us a message, I have the customer support link in the description. Just write the word group and somebody will answer to you during the day, except Sunday. Abhinav asked me what was my first trading capital when I started trading and how I managed that. My first trading capital was around $100. I didn't have a normal job back then. I was doing weird jobs like offering flyers for businesses on the street, stuff like that. I was just having part-time jobs because I was in university as well. And that $100 lasted me, I guess, a couple of minutes because I had a friend that traded back then, and I took a trade that he recommended. And of course, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know how to do anything about it. And yeah, most likely, I don't remember now because I didn't know what a lot is. Most likely the lot was huge. I went full margin and I lost the entire capital in a couple of minutes on gold. Was I disappointed? Yeah, a lot, but it got me mad. And I was like, okay, I need to know how to do this properly because this is so annoying. I do not want to go through this again. However, I knew that it is possible. I knew that I can be better than that. So that's why I continued learning. I knew that that $100 was more like a test. And most of the times, take it from me, but most of the times, especially if you're a beginner, I know for sure that you're going to lose your first money because you're going to do stupid mistakes like I did. I didn't know when to stop the trades. I don't know, maybe I didn't have a stop loss. There were a lot of things that went wrong. And anyways, you can't even trade with $100, to be honest. You need more than that. For a good risk management, I believe that you need at least $250 to start with. Question which I usually receive is about the broker, which broker we should choose, which broker is trusty. And what I always say, like the first thing that I mention, is that you should always opt in for a broker that pays you. That's the most important part, guys. It doesn't matter about its, I don't know, presence online. It doesn't matter how much of a bonus they have. If they do not pay you in the end, that should be your trigger. So I've been trading in the Forex market for a while. I have over 6 years experience in the markets right now, and I went through a lot of brokers. I tested them all, and because I opened a community, which is free of charge, by the way, you can check the link in the description. Just because I opened this community, I made sure to find the best brokers available for Europe, for Asia, for multiple continents, just so you can benefit from good services. And I would start with Vantage, which in my opinion is a really great broker. It's regulated, it has 1 to 500 leverage. It does have a bonus, which is pretty good, but also the trading conditions are good and the withdrawals are fast. The next one, which I always recommend, is Multibank. And by the way, what I'm showing you here is the review page on WikiFX, which is a trusty website when it comes to reviewing brokers. It has a score of 8.96, almost 9 out of 10, which is crazy good. And again, I like them very much because I never had a problem with them. The customer support is extremely fast. Again, they offer bonuses, they are regulated in multiple countries. They have a really good service overall. And of course, the 1 to 500 leverage, in case that I forgot to mention that. And the last one is PuPrime, which is again a really good broker, and usually I recommend this broker for the traders that are in the beginning and try to trade with less than $100, something like that. If you plan to trade with a capital over $100, let's say you want to go in with 1K, 10K and so on, go ahead, go with Vantage, go with Multibank, because those would be better for you. But if you simply want to try out a broker, go with PuPrime. And again, PuPrime has nice bonuses. It's a regulated 1 to 500 leverage. And the most important part, and I think that this would interest you, is the fact that if you choose to trade with any of those 3 brokers, you have free access to our premium group. A group in which we send signals on a daily basis, 5 to 10 signals per day on gold. You will have access to our 3 courses, the beginner course, intermediate course, and also the advanced course. I've put a lot of soul in making those courses because basically it's so hard to just search for materials about trading on your own on YouTube. You will find a lot of opinions, but if you receive a well-structured course from A to B, I guess that you're going to do pretty well on your own when trading, because I'm not a person that supports signal taking. I believe that you should know how to trade on your own as well, and you should understand why you are taking those specific trades. So when you see us sending a signal on gold, you will have a slight idea about our analysis overall, and you won't take the signal blindly. So guys, if you're interested in those brokers and also you want to join our premium group for free, all you have to do is to trade on live with Vantage, Multibank or PuPrime, and then to leave a message to our support contact, which is in the description of this video. Simply write join and somebody will contact you soon. Alright guys, so I guess that right now I'm going to answer to the last question, and I guess the most important one from the entire vlog, which is what strategy are you using and what is your win rate, risk to reward, discipline. He asked multiple questions, and I really liked this question specifically because it tells a lot about you as a trader. Sometimes it's complicated to explain all of those, especially to a beginner, but I will try to do my best right now in this vlog. So first of all, I want to talk a bit about the win rate and the risk to reward. For a long period of time, I know that a lot of traders considered that if you have a high risk to reward, it means that you're profitable, but they didn't compare it with the win rate, they didn't associate it with a win rate. So basically, if you say that you have a high risk to reward but you do not mention win rate, it doesn't really matter. The only way in which those two terms make sense is when you correlate them. You need to know what's your win rate but also what's your risk to reward, and I will put a table here that explains exactly the correlation between win rate and risk to reward in order to be profitable. So basically, both me and the team members focus a lot on a higher win rate and lower risk to reward. We are layering, which means that some layers will have even less than 1-to-1 risk to reward, but other layers will have even more. We will go to 1-to-2, 1-to-3, 1-to-5, depends on how long the price continues in our favorable direction. Overall, the strategy includes taking good entries, securing a lot of partials. That's why we are layering, and if you do not know what layering is, I will leave a link in the description. When your win rate is high, around 80-90%, and your risk to reward is modest because you're opening a trade but you're closing multiple partials on the way, well, in the end, it makes sense mathematically. Sometimes it's better to focus on win rate and to have a decent risk to reward like in the table, but also to have a lot of partials. For example, here, imagine that you would have taken a trade around here. That would be a layer. Then maybe you caught another entry a little bit above. That would be a second layer, right? Let's say that the first layer is going to be closed here. So you already made some profit at 0.5 to risk to reward. The second one that you opened around here would be closed lower, right? 1-to-1 risk reward. Then you open the third layer, still somewhere in this area when this candle was formed. Maybe this one will be closed later, somewhere around here. Let's say that you had another one. Let's say that you had like 5 layers, 4 or 5 layers. Maybe you closed it around here. So suddenly this trade over here, this sell, already has a high win rate. You already secured some profit because you opened multiple positions somewhere around this area, around this candle. And now you can stay rested because you have some opened positions that are set on break even. Okay, so over here, not this one. Let me just, let's say, I don't know, this one, we're going to let it for longer. Those are on break even, so are risk free. And you're just waiting for the market to continue. The more layers you have, the better. However, you still have to keep a good risk management active, meaning that you should not risk more than you can afford losing. Maybe some traders would risk 5% for this trade. Maybe some of you would risk 3%, 2% for all those trades combined. And that's okay. Risk as much as you can afford losing. That's what I'm always saying. And also an amount that makes sense. When it comes to the strategy on its own, on gold, I'm doing scalping mostly. But of course, as you can see here, some trades can still remain open for days just because we have some layers left open. Like you secured some profits on your scalp, but you had some layers that are still profitable and you leave them there because you're having them because you have them on break even, and why not? Again, initially we are scalpers. We are trading a lot based on the sessions, meaning that we focus on what London does, on what New York does. Also, we focus a lot on liquidity. Liquidity is the most important term in trading for me because the market moves according to liquidity. If you do not trade based on liquidity, you're missing out on a lot. This is what I consider. There are a lot of liquidity models that can be followed, especially with gold. And also, besides liquidity models, which is part of the technicals, I guess that the most important thing is to check the fundamentals. And this is why around 3 times a week we are sharing fundamentals about gold in our trading group. So check the link in the description. It's a free group. You can always check the fundamentals together with us because yeah, of course, gold moves based on technicals, but the moment when something important happens, like for example, Trump speaking again about tariffs, increasing them, decreasing them, that's when gold will do some crazy move, and those moves can happen during war, normal news that are announced in advance, like that are planned, like NFP. Just check everything in advance. So I guess that's it, guys. That's it for now. I hope that this vlog helped you. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and leave your next questions in the comments. Do not forget to join the group in the description. I would be happy for you if you would join Premium as well. Thank you for watching and see you next time.